What is going on, Skull family? I'm Kyle,
And I'm One Bar.
and this is the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. Welcome into the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. We are part of the Let's Skull Network, and every single week, my good friend Darin. Oh wait, no Darin this week because he is traveling the world on vacation. So we're bringing in the one and only One Bar. How are you doing today, One Bar?
I'm doing well, man. Darin's much more attractive than I am, so hopefully I will do him justice today. So thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
Of course. Well, you both bring that Minnesota accent, so I think we'll be okay on the podcast side of things, but the video side of things might get a little questions, so it's all good. Anyways, if you are finding us on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the Purple Dopes with Hopes YouTube channel. We got a goal right now, 400 subs by training camp. Training camp kicks off the beginning of August, so we are looking to get 400 subs by then. So please make sure, subscribe to the channel, and then drop us a comment. Skull, where are you listening to the Purple Dopes from? And then, of course, on any of the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, please make sure to follow along and then rate and review. That's how people find us. Rate and review the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. Anyways, One Bar, man. Catch me up, man. One Bar and Lupagus. That's your YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us. How have you guys been doing? What's new with you guys? What's happening on your end of the world?
No, all is well. I mean, I think we fall in the category of everybody else doing who does anything NFL wise. Like you start getting end of June, man, you're starting to talk about your favorite color, what kind of shoes you're wearing. It's the dead time of the year, but there's always stuff to talk about. So we're always going daily. We're still doing lives during the week, and we're getting close to 17K subs. So yeah. we're getting very, very close. So that is the goal now. But just looking forward to training camp to get going so we can start talking about some actual football.
Well, I can tell you, man, you guys were grinding it out during the draft, man. I think you guys were on for several hours each and every day of the draft, man. So kudos to you guys for continuing to grind it out there. If anyone can find something to talk about, it's you guys, though. Let's be honest. You guys can find something to talk about.
No, it was fun. It was fun. My co-host Lupagus probably had somewhere in between 25 and 40 beers on the first night of the draft and could not speak by the end of it, but we had fun, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Speaking of fun, man, I wanted to kick off this episode. For some reason, Randy Moss stories have been just popping up on my algorithm lately, and I heard this great story about him when he was with the Patriots, and Belichick was having this conversation with the team, telling everyone how they needed to be like Tiger Woods. Like, you need to hit 1,000 shots out of the sand. You need to hit 1,000 drives. Like, that's what hard work looks like. And then Tiger Woods gets in a little bit of trouble, right? And with himself. And Randy Moss is the first one to pipe up to Belichick and go, Tiger Woods wasn't hitting balls last night. Tiger Woods wasn't out last night. So anyways, just in honor of one of the greatest Vikings of all time, Randy Moss, what's one of your favorite Randy Moss memories that you have watching him? Maybe as a kid or even as growing up into an adult?
Man, I'm gonna have one that's probably not very popular. So Randy Moss, I mean, you're probably in the same boat. Like, he was the guy. Like, I was a Vikings fan before that. Like, I was big on the Chris Carter and but when Randy Moss came on, like, there was some sort of love affair that every Vikings fan had with Moss, and that got a lot of Vikings fans going. But you look at the Thanksgiving games, you look at the lateral, the Mo Williams, he had so many highlights. But my favorite Randy Moss moment is a weird one. It's in 2010 when we traded for him to come back. Like, that was the highlight of my now granted, that was my favorite moment. So clearly it did not go well. The next 4 weeks were a disaster and he was gonzo. But when
he did have the thought of
he had a touchdown from Brett Favre. It was nice, but like when there was rumors about him coming back, like, I mean, think about when KG came back to the Wolves. We've seen these reunions come back, and Randy Moss, the thought of him coming back, and when he went up to that podium and said, "Get your 84 jerseys out," man, I couldn't have been happier. And then we know what happened after that. Like, it was a dream come true for him to come back. The highlights speak for themselves. But that was my favorite moment. I didn't, and again, like I said, what happened after that was absolutely horrible.
Well, I got it, man. You mentioned mine, but it's the lateral to Mo Williams, and it's not necessarily the play was amazing, but after that, when I watched the Rand University 30 for 30, And they talked about how that's what he used to do in high school all the time. Like their coach would just have this play where he'd just say like schoolyard or playground or something. And that's literally what they would do. Just ladder it until Randy got it and scored a touchdown or created a touchdown. Knowing the story behind that's like, he just used to do that regularly. It wasn't just like spur of the moment flip. It was like, this is what this guy used to do in high school all the time. And their coach even had a play for it. It's just awesome to think about that guy. And to think about him in high school, doing that stuff. I mean, how fun would that have been to go to his school and watch, not to play against him, but to be on his team, watch him play.
Yeah, Mo Williams, like that was absolutely insane. That's got to be one of the most insane plays in NFL history for Mo Williams to be there, for him to catch it. I mean, absolutely crazy. I remember watching that live, just being like, "What is he doing?" Like, oh, he's a genius.
Over the shoulder as he's falling down. I mean, just so many things had to go right. Of course they did, and the Vikings scored at the end of the half there. So. Anyways, man, let's jump in and talk. I haven't had a chance to talk with you post-draft about these Vikings, but I want to start with the defensive side of the ball as we move into training camp here. How you feeling about these rookies that the Vikings did in the last draft?
Oh man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Caleb Banks obviously got a lot of flack when that pick was drafted. Oh, they overdrafted, and a lot of people had him at pick or player 40 on their board. Injuries, whatever. They went young on the defensive line last year. Jonathan Allen, Hargrave. They had the old man Withers on the defensive line, just kind of one year stopgaps. They said screw it, and they addressed the hell out of the defensive line, which is absolutely beautiful. And Galladay. Love the pick. We got two middle linebackers that are not getting any younger. So, and the Thomas, the safety, like I loved that they went defense. Between Caleb Banks and Big Citrus Dominic Orange, I mean, I hate to say it, my expectations right now are so low with previous drafts. Like, even if one of these guys pan out, like that's where I'm at right now. Like, if one of these guys turn out to be a solid starter, they don't even have to be like a Pro Bowl year in and year out. Like if they turn out to be a guy we want to re-sign when their contract comes up, that is a win. Like, let's get a guy for the next 3 to 7 years on this defensive line, and that can make an impact. And Banks, like, to me, Orange, I think, is going to be a very, very serviceable, very good player on this defensive line. And Banks, it's a big swing. It is a huge swing. If it doesn't work, then I like the fact that they went for it, but I think it's going to. It's going to be very interesting to see how long it takes him to get on the field. If they baby him, whatever, do whatever you got. But Banks will be big. And then, getting in the weeds, like the Charles Demings. I love that pick. Big upside, maybe a year or two down the road. I loved it, man. I don't know what you're feeling about the defense, but I love that they're going young. It got better. Their defense got better. Yeah. I cannot convince me that any way that this defense got worse.
Yeah. Well, I think the only argument against this defense is that we lost Grenard. However, I don't think that we got worse as a result of that loss. I think Jonathan Grenard, great player, is going to do great with the Eagles. Guy's a game wrecker out there, one of the most athletic guys on our line. But I think overall, I agree 100% with you. When you look at last year's roster, which our goal last year was to get younger, and we were one of the oldest defenses in the NFL, to go out there and get these young guys. And I'm a fan of Caleb Banks. I mean, I didn't know a lot about him prior to the draft, but looking into him, and then I just saw that image of him and Dominic Orange at the Wolves game. Or was it the Wolves or the Lynx? Dude, the guy is a monster. He's a monster. So the chances that we have him being, I mean, I think the upside versus him being a flop, it was worth the pick. I mean, the guy could be a game wrecker. He could be one of those guys that comes out there and becomes a Pro Bowl, becomes an All-Pro, becomes a Ring of Honor guy for the Minnesota Vikings. And so, I think getting younger was the key, and I think our defense did that. And last year we were a top 5 defense in the NFL by the end of the season. And so I think with that, there's nothing saying we can't be a top 3 defense with the guys that we got. And I'm really excited about these guys kind of getting their reboot a little bit. Metellus, I feel like last year was a down year for him. And I think he's really motivated and excited to come out and have a great season for the Vikings. The question mark I think all of us are asking right now is, what's Hitman Harry going to do?
Yeah, what is he going to do, and what do we want him to do? Like
exactly.
I'm sure he has an open pass. Like, dude, if you want to come here at this X amount of dollars, you can come whenever you want. Week 1, right now, week 6, whatever it is. to me, I don't think that moves the needle on if this defense is going to be great or not.
Sure.
I mean, we love Hitman. Everybody loves 22. We want to see him out there. Worst case scenario, he's not who he was, but he's a damn good on the field coach type of role.
Yeah.
But let's see what Jacoby Thomas has. Let's see what a healthy Josh Metellus can do out there. And if Hitman wants to come play a little bit, go nuts. But we can't rely on 22. I just hope the decision is made sooner than later, man. I agree. Make it known what you're going to do.
Yeah, I hope it's not November and all of a sudden Hitman Harry wants to come out and play because the Vikings are, bound for the playoff run that we've been waiting for so many years. But I kind of agree with you. I would like to know, hopefully before training camp, what Hitman's doing. It's interesting he stayed so quiet. Makes me think maybe there's some real thought going into the decision. But I agree. Jacoby Thomas, watching the tape on that kid, I think we got a guy. I think we got a guy out there who can come fill that spot and make some plays for us. And then, we got some other guys stepping in. Jay Ward, I've been hearing good things about him as well. So he's a guy that maybe can step in there and who knows what he can do. And then, Metellus running around out there being kind of that hybrid, whatever you want to call him, position player is pretty exciting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're in October, November, and the Vikings are just tearing it up, and Hitman's like, oh, hey, by the way, I guess I will play. It'd be like, sorry, dude. I mean, at that point, it's a tough decision.
Yeah, and I guess that leads to as far as the expectations for Flores now. I mean, last year, I think we had high hopes for that defense, and they exceeded those hopes based on kind of what we saw the year before. But what do you think now that he is a part of the draft? He got his guys. What do you think the expectations for him are now as the defensive coordinator / second head coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to raise the bar for a guy that had a top 5 defense with players that, you'd look at on paper, be like, this is going to be maybe 20th best defense. It's not we had some ballers, no doubt, but there was a lot of guys that were just kind of plugged in there with the Jonathan Allens, the Hargraves. We've seen so many. So it's going to be interesting to see how some of these guys turn out, especially, we've got to mention James Pierre in there too, the cornerback from Pittsburgh that clearly Flores had a lot to do with probably bringing in as well. So I wouldn't say the pressure's on by any means, but I would say anything other than a top 6 defense would damn near be almost a letdown.
For sure. Yeah, no, I would agree with you as well. As what we've seen Brian Flores do with, maybe saying it, maybe some of those guys are more queasy in front office. But now that he's got his hand in the picks, obviously defensive heavy draft for the Minnesota Vikings, I got to believe Brian Flores was right there as those picks were being made. I think a top 6 defense, if anything outside of that, I think we're going to be a little disappointed on the investment that we've seen made over this past season to get younger, to get faster, to get better. And I'm excited to see what Flores can do with it, because I think we're the luckiest team in the NFL to have, truly a guy who should be a head coach somewhere leading our defense. I think we're very fortunate in that, but also because of that, I think our expectations are a little bit higher for the defense.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Grenard loss is a big loss. What are they gonna do there? A lot of chatter about them addressing an edge rusher in free agency in training camp. Will Jake Galday be a guy that kind of steps into there, kind of floating around in between middle and the edge? Ingram Dawkins, a guy they're kind of toying around with. So that will be if he can figure that out and add some depth behind Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner and make it valid depth, then man. We already know he's smart, but he might be damn genius if you can figure that out.
Well, for Dallas Turner too, this is your timeline, dude. Obviously, Flores saw something in him last year as he progressed in his second year that, this is your make or break time, Dallas Turner. We're ready for you to get up there and get, 15 plus sacks this season would be pretty awesome from Dallas Turner.
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, my co-host Lupagus, he's almost got him at 15 plus, or it's a letdown. I'm like, hey, baby steps. If he gets 9 to 11 is a beautiful season. He came on big at the end of the year. Get some pressures. If the sacks come, great. But anywhere in that 9-ish range, man, I am happier than heck.
I would be double-digit sacks would be a big celebration for me when it comes to Dallas Turner. Shout out to Lupagus for setting the bar high for him. But if we get double-digit sacks out of the guy in his third year, let's go. I'm all for that. So.
He's got some big boys in front of him. Big Citrus is going to be paving the way, laying the wood.
Let's hope so. Well, let's move over a little bit and talk about the defensive side of the ball. Do you feel like, I mean, we've talked heavy the defensive needs. We feel like we're addressed. Do you feel like we address the needs as far as the offensive side of the ball goes for during this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the offensive side of the ball, and we were pretty set. Obviously, the biggest issue last year was the quarterback play was disastrous. Like I feel the offense was very good last year. They just didn't have the right guys putting the ball where it needed to be.
For sure.
So again, I'm sounding like I'm just drinking purple Kool-Aid over here by the gallons, which maybe I am, but like you add a Jawan Jennings into the mix. There's not a better trio of receivers in the league. You add, I mean, you add Kyler Murray, obviously. I'm sure we'll talk quarterback, but like he's such a wild card. It's either going to be fantastic or it's going to be a disaster. What is it going to be? Like that's going to be the biggest question mark. But 9 wins last year with some of the most horrific quarterback play between Carson. I mean, and a lot of it had to do with injuries. Like I'm not
NFL history. In NFL history, the worst quarterback play.
9 wins. They got 9 wins, and on top of that, they had 13 different configurations on the offensive line. Like to me, like the Jennings signing is great. I love our receivers. We got some decent running backs. We got some good tight ends. To me, the biggest thing right now, even ahead of the quarterback, is this offensive line. They're going to have an offensive line that is actually going to be healthy going into the field, into the season. Will Fries, clearly his leg wasn't ready. Center was a disaster with Ryan Kelly bouncing around. Donovan Jackson was a rookie. Christian Darrisaw wasn't healthy. Like the O-line being healthy and complete is what's going to make or break this quarterback play. I'm so excited about this offensive line. Donovan Jackson is going to be an absolute stud.
Yep, agree. I can't. I mean, this offensive line is. You're right. It's the stronghold of this offense to go. And last year we saw what happens when investments are made, they go south. And so my hope is this season, we get consistency at the offensive line. I don't care if we're paying guys, the top dollar to get the best guys in here. I think consistency at your offensive line is the key. And, Darrisaw sounds like he's the healthiest he's been, as far as the word coming out from his team is it's the healthiest, which super excited to hear that. And then Donovan Jackson, like you said, he came out and showed me that he's a guy we want on the offensive line for the next 10 years for the Minnesota Vikings. And so BO coming. I don't know if there's talks that his contract, could be coming. But and I guess I've heard a lot of chatter like a BO, Ben O'Neill signing him. Why would you not? Like, why would people question this idea? Like, he's obviously a top tier offensive lineman in the NFL. Is he the best guy to ever play? Is he the second coming of some of our, Williams Walls or Steve Hutchinson? I don't know if I'd put him there, but I'd say he's top tier when it comes to offensive line in the NFL. So yeah, we should pay the guy to get him on there to give us that stronghold that we need, regardless of who the quarterback will be starting the 2026 season, which we will get into. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, Brian O'Neill, was he 30? I think he's 30. Extend him a couple years. It's going to free up some space right now, and you don't have to worry about it. And one thing I didn't hit on the offensive line is they actually have depth. I mean, going out and getting Ryan Vandemark, who is a solid backup, would start on a lot of teams. And then you draft Caleb Tiernan in round 3, a guy that will be the heir apparent to one of those spots on that offensive line. He was a gift. He should not have been there. So depth is huge. But where do you sit on Blake Brandel being the center? Are you happy with that, or you wish they would have got somebody?
I think he proved himself worthy of a start for next season. I really do. I think he went out there. He wasn't a center, came into the position. I feel like he held it down. I feel like he proved his spot. And so I'm 100% all right with that, especially because the team already has that consistency with him. I mean, the consistency is the key for me when it comes to the offensive line. And so for keeping that consistency with those guys who get, I've never played center before. I'm 150 pounds soaking wet, but to get that, how he snaps the ball, how coming out of his hand, like, I think those things are really important. And also, like, for whoever our quarterback is, like, the more time they get with him, the better. And so I think whoever it is, the more time they can get with that, understanding how he snaps. We've seen what happens when snaps go south or when quarterbacks don't line up behind the center. Like, we've seen what happens when that happens. So, what about you? How you feel about him getting the starting spot?
You nailed it, man. I think he deserves a shot at it. He probably it's his only shot to start. Before they got Tiernan, And before Ryan Vandemark, I wanted nothing to do at center because I wanted him to be that backup utility guy. But now that they got them, why not? See what he's got. They drafted that Gerhardt kid out of Cincinnati in round 7. Who knows what he's got to bring? I personally, Michael Juergens, I've seen enough of him, even in the short amount we've seen of him. But no, Blake Brandel, go out there, man. Kill it. It's crazy that he's already been here for like 6 years. It seems like he's like 2 years into the league.
As well. Yeah. No, and I mean, and we've seen what happens when zero depth at the offensive line. We know that story. It's already been written last year for us. So the more guys we got that can step in, if guys get hurt, the better for us. So absolutely. We got Jordan Addison coming up. This could be his contract year. You got high hopes for Jordan Addison as he comes into his contract season?
Yeah. I mean, you see this guy putting in the work in the offseason. We haven't seen this in the past where he's posting stuff. He's working out with so-and-so, whatever, and he's putting in the work. He wants to get paid. I mean, right when he was drafted, the first thing he talked about was money, wasn't it? I mean, like he is motivated. He better be motivated. And you know what? If for some reason it goes south, and I don't think it will, Juwan Jennings, like he could be a guy that you look to re-sign if you're moving on from Jordan Addison. So I love that we have options. But Addison, he's going to be huge. He's going to be very motivated.
I agree. I think we're seeing it, all over social media with him as, he wants to get his money and he's putting the time and the work. Obviously the biggest thing for us is who's going to put the ball in his hands, because when you got Juwan Jennings, when you got Justin Jefferson, remind everyone, Justin Jefferson is still a Minnesota Viking. And then you got Jordan Addison. I mean, I just think, if we can get somebody that can throw the ball to these guys, it's going to be super fun to watch this upcoming season when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, when they have the ball in their hands. And, I mean, could we see the second coming in 98? I don't know, man, but that was sure a fun year to be a Vikings fan, so I'm all about it in 2026.
Yeah, man, you're getting me all hot and bothered talking about 98. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Three-headed monster.
Oh, well, we gotta get into it though, man. When it comes to JJ McCarthy versus Kyler Murray, where are you at right now, man? If you were to make a prediction today, where are we sitting week 1 in the season?
I mean, if I'm laying money on this, you have to go with Kyler Murray. As far as just everything you're hearing and the fact that they brought him in and all that. I mean, we know what's going on there. But I do love, like, I can't wait for training camp, because everybody's saying, like, this is actually a true competition now. JJ McCarthy has looked good. He's looked really good. He's improved here, and here. Kyler Murray, you're seeing what he's saying, like, whatever. It seems like he feels like he's got it in the bag. But the best thing that can happen is that it is a legit competition and that they are both playing at a high level. I keep saying on our show, like, if this comes down to just one of them both looking like crap and they pick the other, like the one that's playing the least worse, like they need to both come out firing completely spot on. Like, make this hard, but make it quick. I don't know how you feel on this, but I also want this decision to be made very quickly. So like, I mean, a week or whatever it is in the training camp, we're not going into preseason game 2. Like, who's our quarterback? Get him out there, get it set, get it done, and move on. But I feel it's going to be Murray. But may the best man win. If JJ McCarthy comes out, that's everybody's Vikings fans' best case scenario, right? Yes. I agree. Yeah, we've said that time and time again. Like, best case scenario is JJ McCarthy wins this job. Like, that's the whole goal. Very beginning of the draft pick was JJ McCarthy would be our franchise quarterback. However, I think that you are right. Kyler Murray doesn't sign for $1 million just because he wants to sit behind a guy and watch some football, play some Call of Duty. Like, Kyler Murray could have picked any team in the NFL. And we talked about it last week. The Falcons were in need, the Jets needed a guy. The Jets got Geno Smith. The Falcons got Tua. Like, if Kyler wanted to sign with those guys, he could have signed with those guys. And he didn't. He picked the Minnesota Vikings. So there has to have been some conversations of, like, you got the leg up. No pun intended on JJ McCarthy here, but you got the leg up when it comes to the position here. Just your job to prove. And I really do hope, like you said, that we have a true competition. This is what we wanted last year when we got rid of Sam Howell and brought in Carson Wentz and Max Brosmer. Like, we wanted more of a competition for JJ McCarthy to prove himself. Okay, we've seen what happens when there's no competition in the kid. Now let's bring in a superstar like Kyler Murray and let's see what happens. JJ, it was your job.
and now it's your job to win. So go out there and see what happens. So yeah, I'm super excited, but I agree with you. Like, I think if we get into week 2 of training camp, like, we need to know. And I'm sure right now they're playing 7-on-7 with no pads. Like, of course we're going to see guys showing out and shining. Like, these guys are professionals. They're the best at what they do in the NFL. So when they get the pads on there, it gets serious. We start seeing some guys coming at them, some defense really playing hard. Like, I think we're going to see the cream rise to the top as far as who it's going to be. But I'm dang excited to see who it's going to be. That's for sure. So
I would love to know where Nolan Teasley had JJ McCarthy when they were because the Seahawks were showing a little bit of interest in that draft. Like, were they like, if he's there, whatever. Like, I would love to know where that sticks, because we got to remember, like, this is a whole new ball game. Even when it comes to veterans this year, guys who are going to make the final roster. Like, this isn't Kwesi anymore. Like, this is a chance for the GM to get rid of some guys that he wants nothing to do with. And man, if you could ask the GM one question, that's what it would be. Where did you have JJ McCarthy ranked on your board? Because it's going to be dang interesting. And I also hope when they make the decision, like, I hope Kevin O'Connell, which isn't in his nature, he just comes like, it's clear cut. No wiggle room. Don't sugarcoat it. Look, Kyler Murray's our quarterback. And unless he gets hurt, he's going to be our quarterback. Like, I just want it going into the season with just a straight up plan. This is it. Kyler Murray, week 2 goes out and throws 3 picks. So be it. He's our quarterback the next week. Like, trot him out there until you can't anymore. Like, I just want a quarterback early and see what he's got. Don't toy with him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think, we can't have a guy looking over his shoulder all season long where it's, will it be JJ this week? It'll be Kyler this week. Like, we need a guy, no matter what, like, he's going to be our guy, unless barring injury happens. And then, hopefully we have a decent backup to come in after him. But I think for sure, like, we need to pick a pony and run with him, like, whoever it is. But as you look at it, like, if Kyler is our starter, like, what are your fears that Kyler Murray start for the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, I mean, I don't expect Kyler Murray to also come in and be a different quarterback than he was with the Cardinals. He's got a much better supporting cast, so he's going to be able to cover up a lot of some of the issues he's had. And one of his biggest issues is just kind of inconsistencies. Like, I expect Kyler Murray, if he's a starter, to have some huge games. I expect him to have some really boneheaded throws. I expect him to miss some people, but is what it is. Like, I'm on board with. I think Kyler Murray, if he starts, he will have the best season of his career. Does that mean that it's going to be enough for the Vikings to want to re-sign this guy? But we also have to realize that Kyler Murray's going to come in and probably have a dud of a game. And it'll be funny because all the fans, and probably if you go to our channel, we'll be right there with them. Put in JJ McCarthy. What
do we do? What do we do?
So I fully expect Kyler Murray to have the best season, like I said. He will still have some accuracy issues. He'll still have some ups and downs, but he is going to light up that highlight reel, and it just needs to lead to wins. It needs to lead to wins, and it'll be a fun conversation if he starts all year, whether or not they actually pony up and throw him some cash. I saw a report today, like, if he goes out there and has a great year, they're comparing him to like Baker Mayfield type contract, $33 million a year. They're already getting that far ahead of it, man. Wow. So what are your expectations for if Murray starts? Is this a playoff team? 100%.
I am saying I'm all in, man. If Kyler's a starter, I'm all in. I mean, I was all in when they signed him because I think what he brings is level quarterback play. The athleticism that he brings, really, when's the last time we had a quarterback this athletic? Can we go back to Fran Tarkenton? I mean, if we really want to get serious, that scrambling ability to get out of the pocket, make plays, extend plays, which that's the thing that excites me the most about Kyler Murray, is his ability to extend plays. Sam, we saw what he could do when he extend plays, and he's not a play extender, but he did it. Kirk didn't have that ability in him. That's not on his play called to, like, let's extend plays. But Kyler Murray, that ability to escape, get out of the pocket. I'm just thinking about some of those plays he made with DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona. We can't recreate those with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Juwan Jennings running for 5 to 10 seconds somewhere to get open. I mean, I'm super high on Kyler's athletic ability. I'm with you on the biggest concern is the inconsistency in Arizona. And I'm reading off the years in Arizona because No disrespect to Cardinals fans. We love you. If you're tuning in to the Purple Dose with Hopes, thank you. But it was a rough time for him in Arizona. There wasn't a lot of support for him as quarterback. In Minnesota, he's got the QB whisperer, Kevin O'Connell, in his ear. He's got all the gadgets he can play with on as playmakers go. And he's got an offensive line that we are hoping can protect him enough for him to be able to make those plays. So yeah, I'm thinking this is a playoff team or bust if Kyler Murray, and I'm thinking playoff win, 2 wins, Super Bowl team if Kyler Murray's out there personally, but that's just because I'm always with the hopes when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah.
I love it, Kyle. You're always you're always so nice, and we watch a lot of your shows. You guys kill it. Even nice enough to say no disrespect for the Cardinals, but as far as the One Bar and Lupagus shows, the Cardinals were garbage. They were absolute garbage, and I mean that with disrespect. They were a bad football team. Don't put it against Kyle, man. Cardinals fans, hit that sub. But they were. And I would assume they were probably going to admit that as well. It was a very bad team. Yeah. Coaching was brutal. Everything was brutal. Their offensive line wasn't good. They did have some weapons at receiver, but this is going to be night and day. And that's why you can get away with an Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and Claiborne, the rookie they brought in. I mean, it's a decent running back room, but you have your most elusive running back playing quarterback right now. Like, we are going to opposing defenses aren't going to know what to do. What do we do? Do we worry about Justin Jefferson? Do we worry about Kyle? Like, there's going to be so many options that we haven't had. Like you said, he's one of the best scrambling athletic quarterbacks that we've had in a very, 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 very long time. And that's just going to be the icing on the cake against opposing defenses. And
when you factor in, like, he's got that scramble, that extending the play, and his arm strength is ridiculous. The guy has a cannon of an arm, and that's what I'm going back to. Like, you let this guy run around for a little bit and then chuck deep balls to Justin Jefferson, it's going to be like backyard football for the kid. I mean, this is going to be, I agree with you. This is going to be the season that Kyler Murray stakes his name as the number 1 pick in the draft that he was in, for sure.
And we talked Jordan Addison being very motivated. Well, Kyler Murray is going to be extra motivated, not only to kill all the naysayers as far as, you know, he's getting a lot of flack out there. He got a lot of flack in Arizona. Like, he not only wants that big contract, but he knows this is going to be one of the best put together teams that he could possibly ever be on in his entire career. This is the moment to put a little stamp on, like, look, I was worth that pick. I am that type of player. It just wasn't happening in Arizona, and he wants to get paid and he wants to win.
Yeah. Do you have confidence in Kevin O'Connell that he knows what to do with an offense this strong?
I love Kevin O'Connell. I won't until he proves it. The issue is, can he take Kyler Murray and use him at his strengths and not try to box him in? Yeah. Kevin O'Connell, I think he's a great coach, but I'm not going to, when I see it, I'll be the happiest guy in the world, but we got to see it because we haven't, I mean, we saw what he did with Josh Dobbs, and I'm not comparing Dobbs to Kyler Murray whatsoever, but I don't know. I got to see it. Kevin O'Connell, love him, but he seems like he's very stubborn. It's his way or the highway.
Little set in his ways. I agree with you on that one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be quite the challenge. I mean, Kevin O'Connell, I don't know how you feel about this, but to me, this is a 1-year kind of prove it year for him. Nolan Teasley, it's very rare that a new GM comes in and the current coach stays. Granted, the owners of the Vikings love him, so I'm sure that was part of the deal, obviously. But like, if this season does not go well, I can't see that Nolan Teasley not wanting to bring in his own coach.
For sure. That's a really good point. And I didn't really touch on Teasley as well, but I mean, him coming in, making the moves that he's already been making, you know, getting rid of some of the dead weight that we've had in the Minnesota Vikings front office. You know, you have to think the head coach is on his radar as far as like, will this guy and me mesh or not mesh? Will he do the things that I need him to do as a head coach? So I definitely think as we sign T, you know, this does move into a little bit hotter seat for KOC. What's your expectation for Kevin O'Connell this year to cool the seat down a little bit? Is it a playoff win?
He's got to get a playoff win. I think so. I think it's got to be a playoff win. I'm not saying he's going to get fired by any means if he doesn't win it, but I don't consider his seat overly hot right now. We're going to see how this season goes. It's just too good of a roster not to be making a push. So we'll see how it goes. Like if he makes the playoffs and he's one and done, I think the conversations will definitely be had, but I think he'd come back. We'll see. We'll see. I can't see him. It's just so weird. And how do you feel about when they were interviewing GMs that Kevin O'Connell was there? Is that weird to you?
I don't, I couldn't really get a read on it. I mean, I guess it is kind of weird in the fact that like this guy, like us, you're on your boss's interview making the decision of who your boss will be, but also like you said, the Wilfs, like they got a lot of love for Kevin O'Connell. So I guess it doesn't surprise me because of the value they put in Kevin O'Connell, that he was a part of things. But yeah, it is a little different. And I don't know if you've seen that in other interviewing sessions before.
Yeah, I'd love to see how that went. Like, if I'd be like, Kevin, if you want to sit in the corner and watch Go Nuts, but you're not asking these guys. Like, he's asking us questions. For so sure. The Wilfs love him. They love him. I do think he's a great, great coach. But at some point, you gotta win some playoffs games. This team's too stacked to not win playoff games. So
it's been too long. We've dealt with this for too many years. Like, I think a playoff win has got to get on his resume, this season. I'm with you. I don't know that he's going to be, ousted at the end of the year unless the team just tanks. But I thought, a playoff win is the expectation, probably from Teasley and maybe even more from Vikings fans right now when it comes to Kevin O'Connell. So, yeah.
Wilfs are not getting any younger. They're not getting any younger. Patience has got to be going up. Fair.
All right. Well, we're going to bring you our last thought here. That's our Purple Hope. They are brought by 612Tees, great Minnesota-based apparel company. 612tees.com. Purple Dopes 25. Get 25% off your first order. One bar. When you think about the next month for the Minnesota Vikings leading into training camps, what hopes do you carry right now for the team?
Training camp hopes, no injuries. That's an easy one. But my number one hope is the quarterback. Like I said earlier, squash it early, get that offensive line gelling. When you look at the roster from top to bottom, you take quarterback out of it, which is obviously a big one. There's not a lot of spots up for grabs as far as starters. I mean, the starters are fairly set. I mean, the safety position, the third edge rusher. Will the defensive line end up being Bakes, Orange, Redmond? There's some questions there, but just depth, get some solid depth, make another free agent signing, and just be healthy and get after it. Like there's the roster's too good to not go somewhere this year. So the number one hope is no injuries, quarterback early, and let's go.
Well, my hope over these next 4 weeks, Minnesota Vikings, is that we see lots of social media posts of these guys hanging out, building camaraderie, going to games, going to dinner, going to shows. I want to see these guys out and about. I want to see that team unity, that locker room camaraderie coming together as they lead into training camp. So when they hit training camp, it's like, we know these guys. We've already made them connections, these relationships. We're ready to get after it and go win ourselves some football games starting week 1. The Green Bay Packers. That is where I'm at right now with the Minnesota Vikings. Let's build it and let's go.
I like it, man. I like it. The fact that you're concentrating on the fact that let's make this a family. Let's get after it. Be ready to go on the field. We love each other. Out the field, we love each other. That just means we got a good team. That just means, like, man. Concerns. There's not a ton of concerns going into this season. We'll see how it plays out. But I just feel a lot better going into the season than I have in previous. Like, even when Sam Darnold was there, like, oh man, this gonna be a disaster.
Yep,
I'm right there with fantastic.
Yeah. All right, man. I got a little game. We always like to play a game at the end of our Purple with Hopes episode, and we got 3 scenarios here, and I want you to give me your win prediction in those scenarios. So, you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. All right. With bad QB play for the Minnesota Vikings next season, the Minnesota Vikings will win how many games?
Bad quarterback play? I'm still going to say 9. I mean, bad is still better than horrible, which was last year. So I honestly think that's a step up. So I'm going to keep her at 9 wins, even with bad quarterback play.
Wow. Bad QB play gets 9 wins from one bar. You heard it on the Purple Dubs with a
defense, our running game.
There it is. Fair enough. All right. With decent QB play, the Minnesota Vikings will win how many games?
Decent. I'm really not going to change it that much from 9 because 9 might have been a little aggressive, but decent. I'll go. I'm only going to bump it up one. I'm only going 10 because I feel like I know what your next question is going to be, and I'm shooting for the sky, baby.
All right. So with bad QB play, we're a 9-win team. With decent QB play, we're a 10-win team. With great quarterback play, the Minnesota Vikings will win how many games next season?
Can I cheat? Is there another level above great?
The great is the highest.
Okay.
So
all right.
levels.
So
sorry.
Great quarterback play. They're gonna be at 13 plus.
Okay. All right.
It's
13 plus wins for the Minnesota Vikings.
Great quarterback play means your three receivers absolutely lit it up this year. It also means you are running the heck out of the ball because everyone's terrified of Kyler Murray. So 13 plus. I think the NFC North, the Bears are going to be, I think they're still going to be, they got to prove it. I think the Packers are taking a step back. I think the Lions last year was a lot more what we're going to see from the Lions. So I think the division's there for some taking and also for some wins. So 13 plus with great quarterback play.
All right. I like it. You heard it here first. Kyler Murray shines. JJ McCarthy shines. We don't know yet. We're going to see 13 wins out of these Minnesota Vikings. I'm all in for that one there, One Bar. All right. Thank you so much. One Bar and Lupagis is the channel there for my guest co-host this week. I will make sure to link that in the description of this video. Man, I appreciate you taking the time to chat. Darin will be back next week, but we got a Minnesotan to come in and fill his spot. So we always appreciate those Minnesotans for looking out for the Purple Dopes. So
I appreciate you having me, man. It's always fun to chop it up Vikings with you, Kyle.
Awesome. All right, Vikings fans, we'll catch you guys next week for another episode of the Purple Dopes with Hopes. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on our podcast platforms. Make sure you give us a rating and review on those podcast platforms as well. As always, we finish as we always do with the Purple Dopes with Hopes. We skull, you skull, we all skull together. We'll catch you guys next week.